This Simran that we're doing, this Naam Simran, Path, Bani, Kirtan, all this that we're doing it just with our tongue. We're just doing it on the surface level, very superficial level. We need to have some hints and tips. How do we go further? How do we go deeper? What is missing? So I'd like to share with you some stages that we should go through when we're doing Naam Simran. The very first thing, the very first stage, the very first advice that I'd like to share with you is to focus on the sound of the Shabad. So the first stage is, when you start Naam Simran, focus on the sound. Some people think that when I'm closing my eyes and starting to do Naam Simran, I should do some sort of image of the Guru in my head. A lot of people think that I have to have a picture of Guru Nanak in my head. Like that's the murat that I have to focus on. We even see Shabads that talk about Gur ki murat, the murat of the Guru, man mein dhyan, like do focus on the Guru's murat. And we don't know what the form of the Guru is, so we think the form of the Guru is a picture of the Guru. But this is not what Gurmat teaches us. Gurmat does not teach us to have a picture of the Guru in our mind. In fact, this kind of meditation existed long before Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Sikhi. That focus on a picture, that's not Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Sikhi. Actually, that's old methods of doing meditation. Guru Nanak came with a new method. And Guru Nanak's method was tun. Listen to the tun, the sound. We hear about Shabad Guru. Shabad is the Guru. Sound is the form. Surat tun chela, and my mind and my awareness is a servant to its sound. So this is the first thing we have to understand. When we're doing Naam Simran, we start with a mantar, and that mantar, when we're reciting it out loud, listen to the sound of it. So when you're sitting and doing your Naam Simran, and you're saying Waheguru, Waheguru, what you're doing is it's coming from your tongue, but your mind is somewhere else. It's saying, where are you, where are you, where are you? It's looking. Your mind is going that way, that way, that way. So what you have to do is you have to get your mind to listen to the sound, so that when you're saying Waheguru, the awareness is listening to the sound itself. Feel the Shabad all over your body. Feel the vibration of that sound actually as the only thing that exists. At that moment, just listen to the sound of the Shabad. That's how we can start using mantar. You know the word mantar, what does it mean? It's broken up of two things, man, antar. Mantar helps you to go within the mind. Antar means to go inside, man means the mind. Mantar means to go within the mind. So we have to merge some things when we're doing that. So what we do is we do Naam Simran with our tongue, but our mind is somewhere else. So first we have to join those things. You know what I like to say? We have an outer voice and we have an inner voice. The inner voice is always saying something else. The outer voice can be saying something else. So you have to merge those two. So this is the first stage of when we start doing Naam Simran. First merge the sound coming out of your mouth with the inner voice. If your outer voice is saying a mantar, your inner voice should also be saying that mantar. Not that the inner voice is saying, oh, I'm getting bored, I'm getting hungry. If you notice your inner voice saying something else, make your inner voice and your outer voice say the same thing at the same time. So if you're saying tu hi, Waheguru, Waheguru, whatever the mantar is, use that inner voice to also say that mantar. This is the first stage. The second stage is we have to stop externalizing God. So what we do, we sit and we do our Naam Simran, Waheguru, 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 but still you'll notice that there's an expectation that there's some God that still needs to come. He hasn't come yet. Like 5 minutes ho gaye, it's been 5 minutes. Come on, where is this God? Where's the God person? So the second stage, the second advice that I can give you is to turn your dhyan inwards. Don't look for anything outside. Don't search for an outside God, search for an inside God. So that you're doing your Naam Simran, but your dhyan should not go outwards. The mind is always looking outwards. It's always trying to find something outside. Bring that within yourself. So most people do Naam Simran like God is somewhere far away. It's like God is outside. And this is exactly what Gurbani is telling us not to do. Yeah, man harji tere naal hai. It's already inside. But we only know how to look outwards. That's what the mind is always doing. So the second advice that I can give is try and internalize that. Change that from an outside to an inside. You know, imagine the mind like a torch. Is always looking for something, always looking out there. Is it there? Is it there? Looking somewhere far away. Turn that torch within yourself and just look, okay, I'm not going to look for God outside. Let me just look for whatever is here. Forget God for a moment. It's too far away, too big a thing. Just look within yourself. What is here? What's here right now? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Khojat nij kar paya. By searching and searching, I found it within my own home. Nijkar means very closely deep within my own home. And I found it. Guru Arjan Dev Ji tells us. So the second advice is very important. Don't for a second think that the God that you're calling is far away. If you think it's far away, you've lost it. You know, like when we were children, we used to play this game, Monopoly, and you go to all of these different stages, and then you hit on the wrong step and they say, right, you got to start all the way from square one again, back to the start. Yeah? You always used to dread that card that says, oh, I got to go back to the start. As soon as you realize that you've externalized God and God is somewhere far away, and in your Naam Simran you're looking for an outside God, start again. Remind yourself, no, the God is not far away, it's inside. I don't know what God is yet, but I know that I'm supposed to be looking for it inside. Now, let's go even deeper into Naam Simran. First stage, combine the outer voice and the inner voice. Second stage, don't externalize God. The third stage, the third advice that I can help and share with you is let go of your expectation of God. Our biggest barrier is that when we're doing Naam Simran, there is an expectation. Have you ever noticed this? You're sitting and you're doing Naam Simran, and what you're really waiting for is some hallelujah moment. In the UK, we used to have the National Lottery, and it was a really big thing. And when it first started, there used to be these adverts. There's somebody sitting at home drinking coffee, somebody's at the gym running on the treadmill, somebody's doing something else, they're doing their homework or whatever. And then a big hand will come from the sky and say, it's you. Like, your number has come today. And that's how they used to sell us, that anybody can win the lottery. When we're doing Naam Simran, you know, that's what we're doing. We're all sitting there and Waheguru, Waheguru, and some big lightning, the clouds are going to open, and some big hand of God is going to come and say, come, my child, I've been waiting for you. That's what we're waiting for. Because our God is still sitting in the cloud somewhere, isn't he? That's what we're waiting for. You're sitting in Waheguru, Waheguru, and you're saying, God, are you coming or not? I've been doing this for many years now. When's my turn coming? You know, people who play the lottery, they keep playing for many years. At some point they stop. Number ta aaya nahi. My number never came, so I stopped doing it. And if you keep doing Naam Simran, expecting Mr. God from outside to come to you, trust me, that God is not coming. Because he's not there. We might have spent 20, 30 years calling a God that wasn't actually there. So of course you haven't found it. It doesn't matter how much pyar you do it with, it doesn't matter how lovingly and how dedicated you are doing it. If you're doing something, calling a God that's not outside, then how will it come to you? It's not there. So your expectation of God is a very big thing. We have an expectation that God is supposed to come. At some point, our number is going to come. At some point, God is going to listen to our prayer. We accept that there are 7 billion people on the planet. Most of them not doing Naam Simran, but there's a lot of people doing some sort of meditation. And we think every day God is looking through his list and say, oh, who am I going to pick today? Okay, I'm pick that one, and I'm going to pick that one. And we think somewhere down the list, our little name is there, and maybe one day God will come and say, oh, I didn't know you were waiting for me. Oh, chalo, aaja fir, come on then. That's how we think God is. This is not what the Guru is saying. The Guru is not talking about this kind of God. So we've got this very warped idea of what this God is. And then we're not listening to the Guru is saying. But the Guru is saying, you will get it, mat vich ratan jawahar manak. So that means that the diamonds and jewels and rubies are only inside you. Je ek gur ki sikh suni. Just listen once to what the Guru is actually saying. Guru is saying it's inside you, and you've spent 20 years looking for God outside you. Where does this mat come from? Who are you actually listening to? Definitely not listening to the Guru. So when you're doing your Naam Simran, the third stage is that you have to stop looking for God. You have to start realizing that it's already there. You know what that means? The one doing the Naam Simran is already God. And this is where we get too uncomfortable with the idea. So let me clarify, with whatever little understanding Guru has blessed me with, let me make a statement that will make it very clear. You are God. And you say, no, I'm not. How can I be God? I know what my mind is. I know all the dirt that's in my mind. I'm not God. This guy's mistaken. At this point, you'll say, okay, chalo, that's enough. But this is what we haven't understood. Guru is saying it's already there. Man tu jot sarup hai, apna mool pachan. Mool pachane, ta shau jane. When you know the root of what you really are, the God that you will be, the God that you've been looking for, you'll find it. Mool pachane. When you recognize what you really are, ta shau jane. The king that you've been looking for, you'll know that it's already there. Jab hum hote, tab tu nahi. As long as I was there, you weren't there. So when you're sitting in your Naam Simran, firstly, stop expecting some outside God. That was the third step. The fourth and most important one, the final stage of Naam Simran, is you have to let go of the one doing the Naam Simran. You cannot sit in Naam Simran and say, come on God, come to me, come to me, come to me. God can't come to you. You have to move out the way, and then God will reveal that it was already there. You have to move out of the way. And this is where Naam helps us. What we do is little old me is trying to call big old God. Little old me is trying to call the whole of God to come to me. How is that possible? It's like a single drop of water trying to get the whole ocean to fit inside that drop of water. Can it happen? Can one drop of water have the whole ocean fit inside that one drop? No. So what does the drop of water have to do in order to connect with the ocean? The water has to dissolve into the ocean. If you want to connect with Paramatma, you have to go to God. God can't come to you. So let me just quickly recap the 4 stages and then we'll summarize. The first step was focus on the sound. Don't let your inner voice say something else and your outer voice say something else. Focus on the sound. The second step is don't look for something external. Internalize, bring it within yourself. The third step was to lose your expectation that I am going to find God. And the fourth step is to dissolve yourself. When you let go of yourself, then all that will be left is God itself.